Everything went so well this past week. The Athletics were riding a 5-game winning streak, including a sweep in Arlington. The starters continued their winning ways. The defense had regrouped, and the bullpen was pitching better than ever. But last night, the A's fell back into some bad habits. The long ball got them, and some poor defense hurt them when it mattered most. As the winning streak ended, the Royals took Game 1. Today, the Athletics will look to rebound with Scott Kazmir on the hill. The lefty is coming off a fantastic start last Sunday right here at the Coliseum. It's Game 2. A's-Royals next. It is a beautiful day for baseball at the O.co Coliseum, and today the A's are turning back the clock to 1965 when they were the Kansas City A's. Check out those uniforms. Those are awesome. It's Game 2 of this 3-game series. It's the Royals and the A's coming up on Comcast Sportsnet California. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball, along with Ray Fosse. I'm Glenn Kuiper, so we will have some fun today, and those are sweet uniforms. Scott Kazmir is going to start today, Ray, and he's really pitched well as of late, especially his last start, one of his best of the year against the Angels.
You know, the one thing he said after the game against the Angels, a team that really, you could look back to last year, about a 15 earned run average, but he's pitched great here at the Coliseum, but against the Angels, his former team, he did an outstanding job, and I know there's some question about whether he was going to start against them or not, but he did, and he came away with the win in that game, and he was so excited, especially Ibar, who had an ongoing relationship with him as far as hitting him as well as he did it that day, but he ended up winning the ball game. He was so excited because of it.
Ray, in the offseason, the Royals had a decision. They could bring back Billy Butler. They decided not to and go in a different direction, and they signed Kendrys Morales. He leads this team in RBIs.
He's a switch hitter. He's a designated hitter, and he's done a great job. We saw him with the Angels before the horrible incident at the plate when he broke his ankle. This was in Kansas City, the series finale, a game in which Scott Kazmir started. 2-run double to help the Royals win that game. And, of course, we saw what happened last night from the left side down the left field line. Tremendous power to all fields. He showed it last night against Jesse Hahn, taking it down the left field line just inside the foul pole for a solo home run. But he's a great hitter. He's not going to play a lot defensively, but he can swing the bat.
All right, so Scott Kazmir and veteran right-hander Chris Young is your pitching matchup today on a day that we go back to 1965. And special guest today, Monty Moore, the former Athletics broadcaster, is going to join us in the booth. And you know what? It's a big day when Charlie O. the Mule is in the house, and he's here. He'll be in a luxury suite.
Sports Net, California, is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Taste the new black pepper cheeseburger today, only at Jack in the Box. And by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places.
Scott Kazmir and the A's take the field for Game 2 of this 3-game series in the uniform that the A's wore in 1965 when they were the Kansas City A's. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. Beautiful day, 71 degrees. Bert Campaneris before the game. He and John Blue Moon Odom paraded around the warning track. Always great to see those two gentlemen, former teammates of my partner, Ray Fosse. They still look good in those uniforms.
Yeah, those are great uniforms. I think.
There's the T-shirts that were given away today. So good stuff.
That depicts the iconic elephant. The mule. It was an elephant on the side, but the mule got all the attention.
And he's here. He's just now relaxing. Alcides Escobar to lead it off for the Royals. He'll be followed by Moustakas, Kane Hosmer, Morales, Gordon, Perez, Rios, and Infante. Same lineup as last night for the Royals.
Scott Kazmir would like to duplicate actually what he did against the Angels in the last start, but even more so against the Royals back on the 19th of April, in which he pitched great, gave up just a couple of runs. One of those with the bullpen as he had a walk in the 8th inning, but he pitched very well for 7 innings, went out for the 8th. And then departed. The Royals scoring the 2 that we shot with Kendrys Morales. Hit in the double. They actually scored 3 in the 8th inning. But Scott Kazmir looks good in that new uniform.
Defensively for the Athletics, Zobrist, Fold, and Reddick in the outfield. Laurie, Simeon, Sogard, Davis on the infield. And Fegley is your catcher. And we should pass on that Stephen Vogt is in the lineup today as the designated hitter. So that's big news and good news for the A's.
Absolutely.
After getting hit last night late in the game. So Fegley will catch, Vogt will DH. Looking good today are the Athletics.
That is great. Drew Pomeranz said, "Hey, Vogt, take a look at my socks." And he wanted to make sure the horseshoe was in back where it should be.
That's right.
Because it has to be higher in the back than in the front.
Higher in the back than in the front. Yeah. I can remember as a kid, Ray, like a little league teammate of mine wore them the opposite way. It just drove me crazy. But I never thought it was right to say anything. The high part's got to be in the back.
Got to be in the back.
It just doesn't look right if it's not.
You know, the Cincinnati Reds, of course, they had a team rule that those were ankle huggers. They had to be so tightly wrapped around the ankles that, I mean, you just almost couldn't believe it. They were very, very low. We used to always get them and stretch them as much as possible to make the horseshoe in the back higher.
They don't do that anymore?
No, heck no. See, that's it. Those are all just kind of one sock.
1-2 pitch to Escobar is sliced down the right field line, but foul. This is the Stephen Vogt hit by pitch from last night.
Well, that's the right hand. And Salvador Perez immediately looked to the A's dugout and said, "Somebody come out and take a look at him." And you know, it was scary. Bob Melvin shaking his head because he knows the importance of Stephen Vogt. Of course, the game at the time 5-1.
Tapped up the third base line, and that is going to be an infield hit. Kazmir was going to reach down for it and then decided not to, and hoping that it would roll foul was probably the right thing to do. I think it was the only chance he had. So an infield hit for Escobar to lead off the game.
And if it had hit on the lip of the grass and hit and then started down, but I mean, this is kind of the unbelievable part, to have a good pitching performance, and this happened, but it just never got to the lip of the grass to roll foul. It just kind of stopped right there in the grass. If it hits the lip, probably would have gone into foul territory, but stopped before it had the chance.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort. So here's Mike Moustakas. Kazmir immediately into the stretch. Moustakas, a little pop-up foul.
Well, whether it's a lefty or righty, Ned Yo's same lineup. And so he's got the lefties, and Moustakas, of course, and Gordon will be in there. Switch hitting Morales. Turn around to bat right-handed. But when you have success with a lineup, why change? And so I think more than anything with this club, the Royals, there is an everyday lineup, and there is a group of guys who fill in and give some time off for the everyday players.
Phelan Culbreth is the home plate umpire today, and he's the crew chief for this group. 0-2 the count to Moustakas. In the dirt, blocked by Fegley. So Scott Kazmir going after his 5th win of the year, 7th best ERA in the American League at 2.70. He really pitched well in Kansas City earlier this year, but the bullpen let a win get away from him late. Moustakas tries to hold up, can't do it. As they checked with Paul Schreiber, and Schreiber says that Moustakas went around for the strikeout.
Well, that's a big one. And of course, Scott Kazmir throwing a little slider, and the check swing just went a little bit too far. Not only did the bat, but the body followed, and that probably got Moustakas more than anything. Quick check by Fegley. What you want to do that as a catcher. In these days, if you don't check immediately, there's something wrong. If you hesitate, it gives the umpire a chance to either think about it or decide. If it's taking that long, it must not be a swing. So Josh Fegley immediately going to the appeal.
So here's Lorenzo Cain. Cain hitting .290. First pitch just a bit low. Last 5 starts for Kazmir, 2-1 with a 1.93 ERA. The only loss in that stretch was at Fenway Park. He's got a nice little stretch going. 2-0 now to Cain.
As an infielder, you always anticipate if the ball is hit to me, what do I do? And the speed of Cain, here's a situation, actually speed at first as well with Escobar, but you think about one first, and then if you can turn a double play, that's fine, but you never want to try to make too much out of a play. That's what speed will do, as we know with Billy Burns.
2-0 to Cain. Broken bat. The bat sails into the stands. It looks like everybody's okay. They're checking on a young lady down there. May have just hit her in the arm a little bit, but
well, unfortunately, you see the end of the bat in the stands, and that's the scary part.
So they may just take a quick look at her and make sure she's okay. 2-1 to Cain. Outside now, 3-1. Hosmer to follow.
Forgot about him in the lineup as far as the lefty. That's another lefty, and continue to hit fourth.
And that one's skied toward left field. Zobrist waits, now comes in. He's got it for the second out.
Like Cain tried to do a little bit extra with a 3-1 pitch. Looked for it, got it, just got under it, and skied it in the left field. I'd say a little bit upset.
Yeah.
It's probably one he could go back and say that should be a 2-run home run, but I'm still back in the dugout as an offer.
So here is Hosmer.
Catfish Hunter wore this uniform when he pitched his perfect game in 1968.
Worked for him.
Yes, it did. Catfish and the late Jim Pagliarone, who was his battery mate.
First pitch to Hosmer is hit into center field. That's a base hit. Escobar's going to round second, and he will go to third as Sam Fuld gets it in. First and third, 2 outs.
Cap, we talk about pitching inside. Well, here's a case where Eric Hosmer, the left-hander, facing Kazmir, inside target with the pitch. Look at the location. Pretty hittable pitch. And that's one of those that maybe set up to be a pitch to try to get a strike. But when it gets that much at the plate and balls hit that hard, the location is not exactly where you wanted it.
So here's Kendrys Morales. Switch hitter will bat from the right side. First pitch is down and into Morales. Remember, Morales last year signed late with the Minnesota Twins, and then after 39 games in Minnesota was traded to Seattle, and he never really got on track.
Actually played some first base for Seattle.
Yeah.
But more of the DH, but you're right, he expected to get a long-term contract. Didn't happen.
In the end, he played in 98 games and hit 8 home runs.
And maybe last year Cap had to prove that he was healthy again.
Yeah.
Because it took a long time for him to get over the ankle injury, the break, and as far as his running, still slow, but much better than a few years ago when it happened in Anaheim.
2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. May have chased ball 3.
Good off-speed pitch and had him thinking more of a power pitch, and Scott Kazmir a good job locating it, plus pulling the string a little bit. It's like a BP fastball, not a true changeup.
So Kazmir trying to get out of the first inning jam. That one is low. So now the count is 3-1.
There's a base open.
Yep.
I say that because Morales is a good hitter, and it's not as if jeez, these guys. Alex Gordon on the
Simeon grabs. He'll shovel it to second base. Side retired. So a couple of runners stranded for the Royals as the A's come to bat in the bottom of the first. The first inning. A's fans out in full force today, mustache and all. Let's look at the lineup for the A's. Sam Fuld will lead off in center field, and Laurie, Vogt, Zobrist, Reddick, Fegley, Davis, Simeon, and Sogard.
Chris Young, the veteran tall right-hander, on the mound as he's making the start first of this year for Young against the Athletics. Of course, signed with the Royals in the offseason, and he is making his start today. Actually, he's been back to the rotation now from 10th start. He was detailed last night. Several of the players on the disabled list for starters. So about 6'10" Chris Young, and pitches high, and it's amazing. Not overpowering. About 88 tops out with a fastball, but up in his zone looks much harder. It's typically down low.
And having a good year for the Royals. So 1-0 to Sam Fuld. Full drives on the right. That's it well. Rios on the move, still going back. It's over his head off the wall. Bounces right back to Rios, and Fuld has to hustle in the second with a double.
Billy Burns out again, so Sam Fuld, as he did last night, a double to left center. This time, though, the double off the wall in right field. Starts off this game as Rios playing shallow, banged off the wall, but you hit the ball, you know it does not have enough to get out, so you're not going to be Cadillacing, knowing that you have to hustle for a double with the ball coming off the wall exactly where Rios had played it. But Sam Fuld, that familiar 23, going for 2, and he leads off the game with a double. At the beginning of the season, he was playing a lot, hit consecutive games with triples.
So here's Laurie. So Billy Burns with a little hip flexor problem, and that's why he's out of the lineup again today. They're hoping that he can play tomorrow. So we'll see if that is the case. So a couple days off for Billy Burns. See if he'll feel a little bit better.
Well, if a player who depends on his legs has a hip or lower extremity problem, you better let it get well. You don't want to take away the speed of Billy Burns.
So a quick meeting between Young and Perez. Chris Young is now 36 years old. Strike called to Laurie to even up the count at 1-1. Chris Young last year was 12-9 with a 3.65 ERA with the Seattle Mariners, and he kind of saved the Mariners last year.
He was a late sign of the Mariners last year, actually spring training.
Grounded toward Escobar. Fuld goes back to second, and Laurie is retired. In fact, he made 5 starts against the A's last year. He was 1-3 with a 4.38 ERA. But he was a late sign last year. He was a late sign this year. On March 7th, the Royals signed him, and he was out there all winter. And I know his name kept popping up with teams that maybe needed a back-end starter, and it ended up he goes to the Royals. And now the Royals have some starting pitching injuries, so they really need him, and he's done a good job. First pitch to Vogt is a bit high.
The thing about Chris Young, you cannot look for too much. And I was thinking about the great Hall of Famer Gaylord Perry, who always said you never throw the average, you throw above or below, never what the average speed is. And I think Chris Young, from a starting standpoint, while his 88 is okay, a lot of guys in starters are looking at 93, 94, at least that. But you stay back, and I think Brett Laurie was bitten by the breaking ball or the off-speed pitch that got him 5th lowest at 86.5 miles per hour. And believe me, they are very accurate in those numbers, especially go to .5.
I wonder too if the fact that A, he's 6'10", and B, he's right over top. It's a much different angle, release point than most pitchers.
Now watch Fielding Culbreth. Watch this. He catches the ball, then he looks over.
Runner goes, and the throw is down the left field line, and getting up and going is Fuld. He's going to score, and the A's lead 1-0. How about that?
Ah, finally somebody did it.
So aggressiveness by Sam Fuld gets the A's a run.
And there's your shift, Kipe, and that's what happens when the third baseman's off the line, and it's a running game. And Moustakas off the line, and Sam Fuld takes off, and you're trying to throw it to a moving target. Very difficult, no matter where you are throwing. And Chris Young saw it, but now he's got to throw it to Moustakas on the move. Throws behind him instead of leading him, and that results in a run for the Athletics. Remember, Brett Laurie tried it last weekend. I mean, Greg Gibson called him out, or safe and then out, and it was wrong both times. This time, no chance because the throw wasn't there.
So 2-2 to Vogt. But we've talked about it many times about a runner at second going when the shift is on.
Yeah, hey, yeah. But boy, you use the shift. And especially if the pitcher in this case throws behind, you've got to lead him. It's just like at second base on a double play. If you don't lead him, you get burned.
Vogt drives into left, sending Gordon back. But Gordon is under. He's got it. But you're also asking the third baseman to be moving, keeping an eye on the hitter.
Yeah.
and then it's also a tag play. So you're trying to tag a guy moving, you're trying to catch the ball. It's not an easy play for the third baseman.
And you would never have seen that before shifts.
No.
You never. Because the third baseman is going to be in his normal position, and a runner at second could never. And yet we have seen it twice now in a 7-day period of time. Sunday to Saturday.
First pitch to Zobrist in for a strike.
And really from both standpoints, as far as Brett Lloyd trying last weekend and this time Sanford successful, neither time bad moves.
Zobrist hitting .253 with 5 home runs, 28 RBIs.
Well, again, Sanford taking off. Moustakas off the line, had to reach back. The ball got by him, and well, Fold didn't know. That's why Mike Gallego immediately told him, let's go.
That one hooked down the right field line. It's just foul.
You know, maybe what Billy Burns has been doing is contagious. Sam Fold is aggressive. Yep. Super Sam, they call him. But Billy Burns doing a lot of things on the base paths, and sometimes you need a manufacturer run. And that's what Sam Fold did. Billy Burns back-to-back games off. Lead-off double. Fold not advanced to third, so he did it on his own and ended up scoring.
Pitch is low, 2-2 to Zobrist. So the A's grab a 1-0 lead here in the first.
Remember when the Yankees and the Phillies were playing in the World Series and Johnny Damon stole second with a shift to the right side, he walked to third. Yeah, because nobody was at third. So, I mean, again, shifts are good, but they can also create some problems. And now we're starting to see them a little bit. Maybe we'll see more.
So 3-2 to Ben Zobrist. And he swings and misses at a changeup. Side retired, but thanks to Sam Fold, the A's get a run. So 1-0 Athletics after 1.
Bacon fans will love the Billy Butler Country Breakfast Bowl tomorrow. 15,000 fans will pick up the bowl, and it's courtesy of Xfinity when the A's take on the Kansas City Royals right here in the series finale, the weekend finale. Get your tickets today by calling 877-493-BALL or logging on to athletics.com/tickets.
So that'll be the series finale tomorrow. And then the Colorado Rockies come into town. How about that? A little interleague baseball.
Well, they can stay at the same hotel.
They will.
San Francisco.
That's right. Across the way. So they'll have a week stay in the Bay Area, will the Rockies. First pitch grounded behind first to Davis. So Gordon is retired on one pitch. See if Scott Kazmir can get a shutdown inning. He's 13 for 19 in that spot this year.
I always like to look at the second number because that means the number of innings your club has scored for you. You know, we saw Jesse Chavez that was 5 for 5 and making his 12th, 13 starts. And of course, not a lot of run support, but you know, you get 19 in that category. That means, hey, get some run support. So the A's have the 1 on the board.
First pitch to Salvador Perez is in for a strike. .275 for Perez, and he's behind in the count 0-2. He was 1 for 4 with a double last night. Inter-squad game, huh? Great Monty Moore is going to join us in the 3rd inning. We'll look forward to that, talking about his days as the A's announcer back in 1965 in Kansas City.
Monty was there and moved west with the club whenever they came after the '67 season.
That one lofted down the left field line, but it's going to hook foul. Plenty of distance, but it's always great to see Monty Moore. He was doing some of the pregame festivities along with Dick Callahan. He still sounds great.
I give Monty a lot of credit. He drove up from Porterville this morning and driving back tonight. Brought a couple of his buddies with him.
Weak swing by Salvador Perez, and that's strikeout number 2 for Scott Kazmir.
Well, they backed it up, got down in front of a change-up the first one and pulled it down the line. This one, though, went back to it outside corner. Great location on this one. And Josh Fegley set up outside. That's where the pitch was as Perez tried to pull the outside, kind of a half swing. Talk about the workhorse, Salvador Perez. He's so good that Ned Yost doesn't want to give him a day off.
And you can understand why.
Absolutely.
So 0-1 to Alex Rios. Rios hitting .215 with a homer and 10 RBIs. And he's behind in the count 0-2. Rios was 1 for 4 last night. He scored a run. That's pretty straight away for Rios, and that one could have been a strike. Call the ball.
I think there's sometimes a catcher should say to the umpire, now if it's 0-2, don't assume it's going to be a waste pitch. And Scott Kazmir thought, and he should have been going to the dugout instead of getting another pitch.
He will this time as Rios looks again, and now he's going to argue with field and call. But either way, it's a strikeout, couple of strikeouts for Scott Kazmir. We're on to the bottom of the 2nd. It's 1-0 A's. called out on strikes and had a lengthy argument with Fielding Culbert. He thought the pitch was low. And they talked for a good 30 seconds.
And Josh Phegley's ready to throw the ball around the infield, thinking that was only the second out. He came up behind and looked for somebody third, but Laurie was heading the dugout. You know what? There were 4 strikes that half inning, and maybe I think Fielding Culbert saying, "I'm going to keep you in the game. You're not going to get the early afternoon off. So go in right field."
Alex Rios is going to disagree with you and say there was only 2.
I know.
So 1-1 to Reddick, leading things off here in the second. Reddick, Phegley, and Davis against Chris Young.
Josh Reddick had a hit, or an error that was overturned, and called a hit last night on the ball that Escobar went to his right to try to field. So Reddick able to get 1 hit last night.
Overall, .292 with 10 home runs and 45 runs batted in. Just a bit high and outside. Popped up left side of the diamond. Moustakas, fair territory. He's got it.
Time now for the Ford right choice. It has turned back the clock. A couple of members of the 1965 Kansas City A's, John Blue Moon Oldham and Campy Campaneris, as they threw out the ceremonial first pitches, as we've been talking about for several weeks. And there they were, and they were all over the place. Both members of the 3 consecutive world championships, 72, 73, 74. Of course, Blue Moon signed in 64. Campy, as Monty Moore would tell us, had a pretty good year in 65. A lot of great things happened to Campy Campaneris, the number 19. And that is won by Josh Phegley.
Phegley swings and misses at that off-speed pitch from Chris Young.
I'd like to see if our guys could come up with an archived picture of the great Ted Kluszewski, because he wore these uniforms and he had some pipes.
Phegley's doing his best.
Yeah,
Ted Kluszewski. He's retired.
I remember the baseball card I had of Ted Kluszewski with the Cincinnati Reds, and it was kind of a side shot, and he had cut. You have to cut the sleeves. His biceps were so big, and I don't even know if he ever lifted a weight, but they were big, and he was a strong individual.
But he cut them even higher than Phegley's.
Oh, yes,
got.
Exactly. Well, normally with the regular uniforms, you don't see the undershirt, but now with the vest type uniform, you'll see either the 3/4 sleeves that Ike Davis had, or the short sleeve that Phegley's wearing. That Klue would take it right up to his shoulder.
That's right. The Reds had the sleeveless uniforms. Pirates had them.
Exactly.
I think they are great.
Yeah.
I really do. That is, again, with the A's, I think it's, and they're well known for the uniforms and the white spikes, but I think, the fact that the green and gold is a bright colors, and nobody else has green and gold in MLB.
And the A's the only one wearing the white shoes.
Right. That one is fair under the glove of a diving Hosmer. Ike Davis is going to try for second, and he'll make it with a sliding 2-out double.
Well, Josh Phegley swung at a changeup. Ike Davis may have gotten the same pitch 0-2 off speed. Actually, it was a fastball and went down, but he swung like it was off speed. But that's just the mid-80s fastball that is thrown by this tall right-hander. Hosmer with the gold glove couldn't handle that one. Just inside the line. Actually, Hosmer going into foul territory. But here's a chance now. Ike Davis is not going to steal third with a shift, so we have to get a base hit by Marcus Semien.
Semien, 263, 6 home runs, 18 RBIs. hitting in the ace spot. And off-speed pitch again, and Chris Young just kind of floats that 80-mile-an-hour pitch in there.
I'm sure somebody's yelling, "Stay back."
Easy for you to say.
I know, it's exactly right.
He comes back with an 87-mile-an-hour fastball, but a little up. He's always been able to pitch right up around the letters, which certainly makes his fastball looks like it's coming a little faster. Blocked by Salvador Perez. Davis, the runner at second, and here's the pitch to Simeon, and he lines it to Hosmer, who reaches up on a high backhand, grabs it, side retired. Davis stranded at second. We're through 2. It's 1-0 A's. Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Prism. Now your team can collaborate at a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at Prism.com. So the A's with a 1-0 lead, top of the third. Beautiful day in the Bay Area as we're going back to 1965. Talking about the A's when they were in Kansas City before coming to Oakland in '68. It was not a great run for the A's in Kansas City. They never really had a good team there. They were only there for what, 10 years?
55 to 67, so just a few
12
years more than that. Yeah,
13.
But if you look up in left field and in right field, you're going to see the Oakland A's in left field and the Philadelphia A's in right field. You don't see any Kansas City A's.
No.
So the championships of the two teams in Kansas City and of course in Oakland.
Yeah, 55 to 67. You're right. So 13 years the A's were in Kansas City. So really, Kansas City was only without Major League Baseball for 1 year because the Royals came as an expansion team in '69, and Infante rips one down the left field line. So Omar Infante, who's been a very hot hitter lately, has a leadoff double here in the third. Some of the names from 1965. There, that's the guy.
Yep.
Charlie O. There he is.
That might have been the America.
Look at there he is. Out of the punch bowl. Yummy.
Hawk Harrelson, the first ever free agent, the Hawk in '67. He was riding. Hawk was riding Charlie O in New York. Hold on, big guy.
That is funny. What great photos. really was more important than the players, wasn't he?
Absolutely. He had an air-conditioned trailer, and I mean, he probably flew in his own plane in New York for the World Series in '73.
He's sitting in a lecture suite somewhere right now. I know he is. With all of his buddies. That's right. Remember they had the sheep out on the hill in right field, right?
Grazing. Called the balk.
They called the balk on Kazmir. Fielding Culberth is explaining it to Kazmir.
And Bob Melvin is asking for an explanation.
And he's getting a full explanation, but I don't think the A's are buying it. Bob Melvin.
Well, let's see if we can figure it out. Saying something about his hands.
A balk was called.
We stepped off, and I think he wanted to talk to Fengley because they were not in agreement with the signs. And I think if we look at it again, it might seem step off, and then he started to walk forward. And you can step off because guys will do that when they're trying to get together with the catcher and the sign.
Well, now the runner at third, so it's a huge call.
Well, check the left foot. See, he stepped off. Now, see, that's when he called the ball, but he stepped off to go in and talk to Fengley.
Don't understand that.
So that's not a balk. If he had just gone forward without, but when you move your foot off of the rubber, it's a dead ball basically. You're taking yourself, at least not a dead ball, but at least you're not committing to throw to the plate with the pitch.
Yeah. Once you step off, then you're kind of safe to do whatever you want.
Yeah, you do whatever you want. Good point.
And it looked a little like Kazmir. He did step up, but it almost looked like he rushed it a little bit. Like, I'm going to step off and then go talk to the catcher.
Right.
But still, he did
step off.
Foot is off the rubber.
Because I was looking at any movement with the hands, the body.
Or if they come together or something.
But it was immediately as soon as he stepped off and started to walk towards the plate, that's when Culberth called the ball.
And Escobar chases a high fastball. Big strikeout for Kazmir.
Well, that's a tough call. But goes after him with out of the strike zone, elevated nicely, and Escobar tried to go upstairs, could not catch up to it, and that's a big strikeout. Would have been bigger though if the runner still at second. So the infield now will play in with Moustakas, the lefty.
This is where we need our old friend Ed Montague. Haven't seen Eddie lately. Maybe he's across the bay.
Well, yeah,
I'd like to ask him, why is that a balk? Infield in, and that one's hit in the air, left field, shallow. Tagging is Infante. The throw to the plate, not quite in time. So Infante just gets home, and this game is tied at 1. And the balk call hurts the A's, and that's too bad.
Moustakas again, location, the pitch towards the inside part of the plate. And good job Zobrist getting behind the ball and setting it up. Just the throw to the third base dugout side, and if it's on the plate, maybe a little bit different, and trying to swipe tag him with Infante not sliding. I don't know if the on deck hitter Kane was telling him to slide or not to slide, but worked out well for him.
2 outs for Kane.
So once again, I think a home plate umpire is having a tough day, and not just that call, but balls and strikes, and you have hitters talking and asking questions. That's too much attention for the man in blue. Do you know who would have been able to call that balk better? Would have been a base umpire.
Yeah, I agree.
Not the home plate umpire, because Fielding Culberth would have seen him coming towards him. He couldn't have seen him step off.
Well, that's the thing. The angle that the home plate umpire is looking out, it's going to be hard for him to see the foot stepping back off the rubber.
And the other three, nobody said anything. The other three.
And a swing and a miss. So Kazmir is going to have a chat with Fielding Culberth. I don't blame him. 1-1 game as we go to the bottom of the third. Kazmir not happy. Ray, what do you think?
Well, a guy's going to slow it down. Watch the left foot and watch field and culprit. The left foot steps off and then starts to walk in, and that's when he called it. He did nothing because when he stepped off, and that's what Kazmir is pointing back to. He did talk to him after the inning, but that's a horrible call.
Yep.
And a big call because he ended up scoring on the sac fly after a couple of strikeouts. But anyway, some good news, Kite. We have a gentleman in the booth.
We got a legend in the booth. Monty Moore is here. Monty, thanks for stopping by.
Hey, thanks, Lynn.
We hate to bring you in on a controversial play.
But Monty was yelling like all of us.
It's a good thing I wasn't here. I have become a fan.
Good for you.
Yeah, that guy at umpire, I don't know what he's seeing because that back foot definitely was off the rubber.
Yeah, and that's it. And for him to point down and for the other 3 umpires not to see it. But nice of you to drive from Porterville this morning to be here for the day, and then, of course, you're going to be driving back.
Yeah, I had a little bit of help. I had Carol Lynn and Rick Buffy out as a couple of coaches. My old golfing buddies from Porterville agreed to drive me up here, and I felt like a chauffeured celebrity or something.
You deserve it. You are a celebrity. You should have been chauffeured.
Yeah, I've made that trip a few times. It's 3 hours and 51 minutes from my house to the front F parking lot.
Not 352?
No, 51. Right on it.
So what do you remember about 1965, outside of the fact that, well, the Kansas City A's weren't very good that year, but what are some of the memories from 65?
Well, I remember Rick Monday signed the first free agent in Major League Baseball for a $104,000 bonus. He came into Kansas City for batting practice right afterwards and found a 40-foot high screen fence over the right field fence. So you had to hit a home run 40 feet high over that fence because Finley didn't want to have a Yankee pennant porch in our ballpark. So he made it almost home run proof. I remember that. I remember Campaneris. Campy had one game where he had 6 base hits. He stole 2 bases. He scored 6 runs, and one of his hits was an inside the park homer.
Wow. That wasn't the game he played all 9 positions, was it?
No, it was the same year, but. And, of course, Satchel Paige, well known. He came in and pitched 3 innings against the Boston Red Sox. Carl Yastrzemski got the only hit. It was a left field fly ball, and it's the only base hit that Satchel gave up.
Wow. How was he as a pitcher?
How was he as a pitcher?
Yeah.
Who?
Campy
or Satchel?
Satchel. Well, Campy could pitch. We know that.
Yeah, Campy pitched with both hands in one game. Well, Satchel, you know, I just saw him that day at 59 years old, and he threw a great changeup. We call it changeup today. I don't know what he called it. He had another name for it. But, you know, he could throw the ball where he wanted to. I guess he was one of the best control pitchers ever. I remember reading Bob Feller said one time you put a Wrigley spearmint. He used to wrap chewing gum in those little packages.
Course, yeah.
He said you put one of those things and put it vertical down on the ground. Satch could throw strikes right over the inside of that.
Wow.
That's
pretty good control.
Wrapper.
Well, you have to tell us about the white shoes, Monty. I think that's a great story about, of course, the A's now the only team could think of in Major League Baseball wearing the white shoes, and see what happens with 2 outs. But tell how Charlie started the white shoes.
Well, the first day that the A's wore those white shoes, I knew that was going to be a base hit. Quit talking.
Now, it's TV, Monty. You know that.
But at any rate, the first day the A's wore the white shoes, they were playing the Cleveland Indians, and Joe Adcock was the manager of the Indians. And on the first pitch of the ball game that our pitcher made, he came out of the Indian dugout and went to the home plate and said, "I'm playing this game under protest." The umpire asked why. He said, "Because my players won't be able to see the white baseball with that pitcher raising that white shoe up in the air." So the umpire said, "Duly noted, it's being played under protest, so get back in the dugout and let's play." Well, the protest was not allowed because if your team wins, the protest is over. Well, his team proved that you can see the white ball. They scored 12 runs against our pitcher wearing the white shoes. So that was the end of the controversy over those shoes. But the best part was when Charlie told us what to say on the air about those white shoes. He said, "You tell those people that those shoes are made out of kangaroo leather, white kangaroo leather, and it comes exclusively from a farm in Australia where they raise albino kangaroos."
You know what? That's a good story to end on. Stick around, Monty. We get another half. Oh, nothing like the old albino baseball white shoes.
You thinking?
Brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Home run leaders for the 1965 Kansas City Royals. Hawk led the team in home runs. He also led the team in RBIs with 66. Dick Green, Jim Gentile, and Rene Latchman. 1965.
That was gentleman Jim.
Latchman's first home run, first at bat. He had a home run in the big leagues. Yeah,
Latch did.
Latch coached here for a while too, didn't he?
Sure. He'll be in tomorrow with the Rockies. He's
with Walt, huh?
Yeah. Actually, today's Saturday, so it'll be Monday for 3 games.
It's interesting that we wrote down some names from '65 at Hawk Harrelson, home run RBI leaders. Bert Campaneris led the team in average, but how about Fred Talbot and Raleigh Sheldon led the team 10 wins each?
Yeah.
Remember those guys?
Yeah, big old tall Raleigh Sheldon, and Talbot was one of those mean guys. I mean, you did not get straightened up in the batter's box very long. You stayed loose.
John Wyatt.
Oh yeah, I called him the Kansas City Buzz Bomber.
Monty, please tell us about the great, not celebration, but the celebration.
Well, it was in September, and the A's were playing in Anaheim, and we were in last place where we'd been all year. And the A's won a doubleheader over the Angels. And Charlie Finley made sure that the A's were able to celebrate that. He ordered champagne for the players afterward and called it, "We'll have a celebration." Getting out of the cellar.
That's a good one.
But that club, and Monty gave us some notes, they won 59, lost 103, so they were celebrating getting out of the cellar, huh? That's
absolutely, yeah, get out of the cellar. Let's have a celebration.
Makes perfect sense, really.
We had one of those days too that you guys would have loved being involved in. The longest doubleheader in the history of baseball at that point, 8 hours and some 40 minutes or something. Against Cleveland, we played that doubleheader.
Was that in Kansas City?
No, it was in Cleveland.
In Cleveland.
Yeah.
So there were no people there then, right?
Oh, there weren't even to start with.
I know. I played there. I played there.
Yeah, our center fielders could hear our broadcast.
Now, Monty, everybody knows about free agency today. And everybody knows about Curt Flood in the early 70s and Andy Messersmith and Dave McNally in 76. But what about Hawk Harrelson in 1967, who basically was the first free agent? How did that take place?
Well, he just didn't like the way Charlie was treating Alvin Dark, basically. Charlie fired Alvin Dark over that incident that caused so much problems there. And Hawk voiced his opinion about it to the press, and the press printed it. And Charlie fired him on the spot. He said, "Well, you're gone."
Really?
Yeah, he didn't get anything for him. Went to Boston and had a super career.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
So Hawk Harrelson letting his opinion be known, so he hasn't changed a whole lot.
Not at all. And he is the world's greatest cheerleader in the booth.
Oh, we love that.
I love it.
Now, how was it with Hawk riding Charlie O the Mule?
Well, he was riding that mule one day. The players a lot of times would go, oh, there he is right there.
He was doing that. Jockey.
He was riding that. He was riding that mule by the dugout of the visitors when the Boston Red Sox were in Kansas City, and Pearsall was sitting on the edge of the dugout and had a baseball, and he threw it and hit that mule right in the rear, and he started bucking, and Harrelson, that's what he's holding on about.
He actually looks like a jockey.
Oh, yeah.
On Charlie O the Mule. That mule probably slow. So he threw a baseball at him, and he did that.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy, huh?
Yeah.
Is that necessary? That one lofted toward left center field. It's going to be Fold who gets over there for the second out.
Yeah, that was a year also where we had 3 different managers in that one year.
Wow.
They opened the season with one, Mel McGahey. He was fired. And they put Haywood Sullivan in. And at the end of September, before it's all over, he quit. He resigned. And Charlie hired Alvin Dark.
Wow. So, Monty, why were the Kansas City people so upset when it came to Oakland? I mean, all these things happen in teams not that good. And then all of a sudden, Charlie brings the team here.
Yeah, but they didn't have anything left to go to. I mean,
Right.
I tell you what, the Kansas City fans, Ray, were tremendous. I mean, they really were. And, they lost something that
Sure.
they thought a lot about.
Absolutely,
So I know you know why they left, but I mean that's just Charlie wasn't getting along with them at all.
But as far as coming out here, because not only some of the guys that played there, but came out here and will continue depending what happens in this half inning. But as far as Catfish Hunter, you said he made his debut there.
Yeah, he pitched 3 scoreless innings, I believe, in his first outing. He was 19 years old. And I don't know if you know the story about Catfish signing with the A's or not.
No.
Well, he living in Hertford, North Carolina.
Right field, long run for Reddick.
Stick around. Stick around another half.
Monty's going to finish his Jim Catfish Hunter story.
So Monty's good. He knows that's going to be an out as soon as he starts.
Yeah.
He's good. He's my hero.
Boy, I'll say it does. That's the old Municipal Stadium right there.
Yes, it is. Looks like California with a drought.
And they had the best groundskeeper in the world,
right.
George Toma.
George Toma, that's right. There he is, folks. Monty Moore, the great one. Kansas City and then Oakland. And we were talking about Catfish Hunter. Whenever he pitched in Kansas City, of course, came out here to pitch the perfect game in '68.
Oh, Charlie Finley personally recruited Catfish. He went to Hertford, North Carolina, and Catfish had a high school career, but he had an accident where he was hunting with his brother, and the shotgun went off and shot part of his foot off. Wow. Or part of his foot didn't come off that time. But Charlie heard about his career, as being how good he was, so he went to Hereford personally to talk to Catfish. He wasn't named Catfish until that time.
Yeah.
And when Charlie got there, he asked the folks, said, well, where's Jim? I want to talk to Jim. They said he's down the creek fishing. So Charlie went down there, and talking to Jim about his foot, Jim said, oh, man, I'm through or what. I don't know how it went. But anyway, he had a bad foot. Charlie said, well, look, I sell insurance to all these doctors all across the country. That's where I make my money. Said, I've got all these famous surgeons at Mayo Clinic. He said, if you'll promise you'll play for us, I'll send you to Mayo Clinic. We'll take care of that foot.
Wow.
So Catfish went to the Mayo Clinic, got the foot taken care of, and became a Hall of Famer.
That's incredible. That's a great story.
Yeah.
I knew he had the hunting accident, but I didn't know the rest of the story.
Yeah, and Catfish was known for his perfect control. You'd know that as well as anybody, because you could call for it and he'd hit your mitt.
Exactly.
Charlie, one time they were talking about that, and Charlie told Catfish, said, now look, the next time the interviewer asks you about your control, you tell them that you learned it like this. You live on a farm, your barn has got some knot holes in it, and you practice throwing corn cobs through those knot holes. Now that would be control.
And that's control. And Monty, tell us about this fabulous piece of memorabilia that you have. That's your rug or your...
Ray, a lady fan did that by hand. I don't know what you call it. Needle point, not needle, whatever it is, but that's a rug. Wow. And a lady came into the booth and brought that to me before a game one time and said, we're great fans of the Mules, but also of yours, so we're going to give you this. And I've had it in my family room down in Porterville, and when I was here, ever since.
That's great.
It's a hand. That's the kind of thing fans do. I know you guys get stuff like that all the time. But
we get food.
Yeah, we just get
I hear you talking about it.
Green and gold cookies, bro.
You even grade the food.
Of course we do.
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't want any food. We want the good food.
Right.
Yeah.
Try to explain to people, Monty, not every game is a nail biter, Sometimes we have to create things to talk about.
I know.
That includes food. Hey, it's better for us.
I had to do a lot of creation in my years in Kansas City.
Well, Kansas City, but I mean, it had to be great though, and you're correct about the people in Kansas City not happy when the A's, because they could see a pretty good team that was developing in Kansas City. They had, of course, won 3 consecutive championships here, and 5 consecutive division championships.
And Ray, those kids, those guys who all came here in the 70s, all played together in the minor leagues.
That's right.
And they were all winners in the minor leagues, and you could see it coming up. And my first year out here, I went around during the winter with some of the A's players who were coming to the hot stove leagues, which were big in those days. Sure. And we must have made 200 or 300 of them during the winter, wearing white shoes in San Francisco.
I was going to ask you about that, wearing white shoes in the wintertime.
We like to never found white shoes to dress out in San Francisco, but Charlie wanted us to wear white shoes to the banquets. But at any rate, we went around all over the Bay Area and beyond. And those players who were coming out here, they were some of the ones that, became really world champions. And we could see that. And I was telling people at those banquets, wait till you see guys like the Campaneris and the Bando and the Jackson and Rick Mundy and Ernie Fazio.
That's right.
Remember him?
That's
He's
right.
from the Bay Area
That's
here.
Right.
And you can name off a bunch of those guys, but you could see it coming, and it really did.
Hit hard, backhanded by Escobar out at second. The throwback to first, not in time. So, Monty, did anybody ever say no to Charlie Finley? And if they did, what happened? I mean, he had you guys doing a lot of crazy stuff, probably stuff you didn't always want to do.
Paul Carrollson said
exactly. He go.
Yeah. He started to say, you say no very much. I don't know how many times you said it. And how it was. I argued with him a lot, to tell you the truth. I used to tell him things, but I got to thinking after I left there, man, I was lucky to stay here all these years. Because I saw what he did to a lot of guys. But he was
well,
an unusual man.
The great Roy Steele, the voice of God on the West Coast, told the story one time that Charlie wanted him to say about Joe Pepitone. They want to call him Josephine.
And
he would not do it, and he fired him for a day. And Charlie wanted to introduce him as Josephine Pepitone instead of Joe. And so Roy lost his job for one day, and then he came back.
when Charlie in Kansas City had a truck come out on the field, a school bus, because all the stories had been that Finley is busing all his good players to New York. So he had a school bus come on the field before the game, and he set it on fire. They said, "We're burning the bus. No more trips to the Yankees." And Merle Harmon, and then he had a poison pen. He had a truck come out and had a poison pen on the back of it. It said, "Poison pen, Ernie Mel." He was the sports editor of the Kansas City Star.
Are you kidding?
Right. And he had written some stuff, so Charlie had this truck come out, said "Poison pen" on it. And Merle Harmon, the broadcaster for Charlie at that time, refused to say anything about it on the air. And Merle was gone shortly thereafter.
And that's when you surfaced?
A year later.
Yeah. But the mule, I remember, Monty, got some great attention.
Oh, my goodness. He traveled. Raleigh Finger said that mule traveled better than we did.
He's right there.
He had an air-conditioned truck, and that mule went all over the United States. And they took him into hotels. I remember the Summit Hotel in New York where we stayed. They took that mule up the steps into the lobby. And Charlie had a sterling silver oat bowl. They put it fill it full of oats. And one of the players, I won't say who it was, but he's on the TV here today, up on the booth, named Harrelson, led the mule over toward the elevator. He was going to take him in an elevator.
He could just drink out of the punch bowl too, right? Or that may have been the bowl you're talking about.
That's it right there. That's the silver bowl.
I like the hat.
That's the original mule.
Yep. And I tell you, he made about 3 of the size of that one that came out here today.
On the infield, Escobar fights the sun a little bit, but he makes the catch. So that's the second out.
And he could do all that because he knew there was only 1 out. There's 2 outs. He handled that a little bit differently, probably because everybody's running. But tough sun, and of course no wraparound glasses. He's trying to find it out of the glove, and it finally does come down as he goes down. Monty, would you ever trade any of your experiences, whether it be in Kansas City, the Mule, the Oakland A's, I mean, in your great career? I mean, you had to be looking at that and saying, wearing 3 championship rings and coming from Kansas City, that would be great for you.
I tell you, Ray, the Lord's been good to me and good to my family. And even though when we left here after all the games I did, like over 3,000 in a row, you know, in both places, moving to Porterville, it was a really good thing. And then to come back and do 5 years of television with you,
that's great.
Was another blessing to us. And I just feel a very fortunate guy, Ray, and
you have someone special that may be watching this game?
I was going to say, you know, my wife and I, my wife Dion, we've been married 61 years, Ray.
That's great.
And she's at home now going through some illnesses that are not very pleasant, but she is an incredible woman, and she watches every single A's game with me.
All she talks about is kite.
Yeah, she's always talked about kite. No, once in a while, if kite wasn't heard, like when you guys were simulcasting, she asked me 2 or 3 times during the broadcast, "Well, I haven't heard kite today. Where is he?"
You know what? I've never met your wife, but I like her already.
Dan's a nice lady.
Yeah, but you guys have been great, and Ray and his wife Carol have sent her some wonderful messages. And
well, Monty, it is always a treasure to have you in the booth. Thanks for stopping by.
You made our day.
Appreciate it.
You made our day.
Hey, I'll tell you, you made mine for sure. Just inviting me up here, and
you're a good man.
I appreciate the guys that drove me up, Carol Land and Rick Vafiatis, a couple of coaches.
And they're going to chauffeur you home.
Enjoy the rest of the game. All right?
I'm going to do it. See you later, guys.
All right, Monty.
out the top of the 5th inning for Kansas City, number 15, Alex Rios.
So it's a 1-1 game, top of the 5th inning. Kazmir and Young in a pitcher's duel. It'll be Rios, Infante, and Escobar here in the 5th for Kansas City. Always a pleasure talking to Monty Moore, one of the true gentlemen.
Yeah. Cap, I think Monty just proved that the great history of the game of baseball will never be forgotten. And I think that's always special because of people like Monty who can come in and talk about, 50 years ago. You think it's a half a century, and here he's talking like it just happened yesterday, and new age of baseball and the way it's played. But a lot of the players back then kind of paved the path, the way to baseball today, and a lot has happened in that period of time.
Popped up. Simeon backpedaling a little bit. He's under it, and that's the first out. Well, he's got such a terrific memory.
Yes, he does. The municipal stadium that guys were showing, that was the first major league stadium I saw as a professional, because I was at the end of the '67. Actually stayed in school because of a certain thing was happening military at the time. But so I joined the club in Kansas City and went to Municipal Stadium. And George Toma, who he mentioned as a groundskeeper, was the head groundskeeper there. And I'll never forget watching his ground crew line up down the third base foul line all the way to left field, and in between innings would comb the entire outfield, picking up any little piece of debris that was on the field. It was the most immaculate field I've ever seen in my life. Of course, looking at it now, you'd think that's not the same field, but that's the way George Toma was.
Great shots. Looks like a fairly small ballpark.
It was. And down the left field line, there was a corral for Charlie O, the mule.
Yeah. So goats and sheep in right field, and horse corral in left
mule in left field. And that's him. It's a great T-shirt today, by the way, for the fans to be able to get that to take home as a collection.
That's one of the good ones, and we always have great T-shirt giveaways with the A's, but that one is one of the best. 3-2 now to Omar Infante, but to Monty's credit, as he said, he didn't have a lot of good baseball to talk about when the A's were in Kansas City. He certainly had plenty to talk about here.
Well, he became a broadcaster in Kansas City in 1962. And they came out here after the '67 season. So you look at that period of time, 62 through '67, where he was hoping for a lot of good things, which really never happened.
Now, Monty is from Kansas, right?
Oklahoma.
Oklahoma.
I want to say Oklahoma. And lived in the Bay Area, and then settled in Porterville, where he had KTIP radio station following his broadcasting career.
Swing and a miss. So Infante, after doubling and scoring in the third, strikes out here in the 5th. 6 strikeouts for Kaz.
Good sequence of pitches. The 3-1 fastball was outside that he fouled down the right field line, and they pulled the string on his 3-2 changeup, and a great pitch. And Scott Kazmir, a pitcher, and I emphasize pitcher because I think hitters in the past, Infante in particular, could say 3-2, he's going to rear back and throw 95, 96, but he pulled the string on a changeup, and that's why it fooled him so badly.
Escobar swings at the first pitch, lofts one down the right field line. Reddick is over there. Fair territory, makes the catch. Good inning for Kazmir. He's now retired 5 in a row. Bottom of the 5th coming up. We're tied at 1. Brought to you by McDonald's in honor of Josh Fegley, and the sleeves cut nice and tight.
Wow.
There's our man, Ted Kluszewski. That is a gun show right there. 1954 National League home run champion. There were some pretty good players in baseball back then. So a little bit different nowadays.
But
Ted Kluszewski.
Yeah, the clue. I mean, you could just see it. It's almost like you put the vest on and said, forget about any shirt underneath, or I'll cut it off so you can see nothing but guns. That's a great shot. I figured this crew is so great.
Yeah, got to thank Josh Hood for that, our graphics operator. He came up with a great shot of Ted Kluszewski.
That's right. Those in the truck are outstanding.
1-1 the count to Simeon. Simeon, Sogard, and Fold. He's trying to break a 1-1 tie. So 2-1 the count. Simeon lined out to Hosmer at first. That ended the second inning. Came with runner at second base. That was a hooked foul out in front. Nice play on a one hopper. So Chris Young about to throw pitch number 70. And it's a swing and a miss. Pitch in the dirt. Perez flips to first, and that's out number 1. My partner Ray Fosse also graduated from high school in 1965. So I think it's important that we bring out the graduation. Nice.
Wow.
Nice.
Where did that come from? Hoodie, I asked for certain things, not that though.
Are you going to tell me that that guy right there didn't walk down the halls and say, just get out of my way, because the big man's coming through?
Maybe we shouldn't ask for certain things, because you never know what might surface.
1965. Owning Marion, Illinois. That's beautiful. Sogard struck out swinging in the third. You probably signed your contract with the Indians soon after that.
It wasn't long, and I was upset when Walter Shannon left, and I said, get him back. Let's go. Hold something.
Sogard rips one up the middle, and that's a base hit. Hit number 4 for the Athletics.
High fastball, and Eric Sogard guessed correctly, and I say guess because Chris Young does a lot of things with the fastball. Does a lot of off-speed pitches. And the one thing I thought is Monty Moore was talking about Rick Mundy, the first ever draft choice in 1965, and the reason they wanted to reduce the bonuses that were too high. So they gave them 100,000, 104,000, and now they are slotting them at about what 2 point whatever for a first round draft choice. And so what they did 50 years ago is back.
Full off his foot, and that hurt. So they're going to give Sam Fold a little time.
No matter how your uniform looks, that hurts. Right off the top of the right foot.
He's not moving great.
No.
He's not moving hardly at all. That's not a good sign.
Well, I might have got the inside of the left, the ankle a little bit. Now the right ankle inside. So the hip flexor guy is getting loose. Billy Burns in the event. And if you know what happens on those, your foot becomes numb.
The whole foot.
Yeah, everything. I mean, and that's why when you put weight on it, you check the right foot. It's the lead foot inside of the ankle on the right foot. But it just shoots that numbness. It's like putting a bag of ice on your ankle, your foot for an hour, and then trying to walk. It's just kind of numb. And so the more you walk it off and try to get some circulation, starts to feel better. But I mean, it's going to require some ice. Nothing better to help the pain in the foot is to get a base hit and start running.
Laurie to follow here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Stockis a step on the grass. 3rd. And a swing and a miss, so now it's 0-2. Fold doubled and scored in the 1st inning. It was a run he pretty much created by himself.
That's a great point, because otherwise it might be a different story. Of course, if the balk hadn't been called, it would have been a different story.
Pitch out, nothing going on.
Sogard might have read that one, because it looked like he might have been taking off. Then he saw Perez, and if you're going to steal and you look back a little bit, you watch the catcher. Perez comes out, and it might have been a flare, just shooting up a little bit. But Perez did call a pitch out, 0-2, which is kind of a strange time for pitch out.
Young, quite a few pitches with 1 out in the 5th inning. And that one is hooked down the right field line. Hit well, but foul.
Well, last year in September, how about Sam Fuld, and he in a Mariners uniform. High fastball, September the 14th, right field just out of the reach. And Sam Fuld at Safeco Field. A home run. Got on top, and Sam hit one that hard in his first at bat, but it was off the wall. One hopped the wall, that is, and did not get the elevation that he got in Seattle.
Blocked by Perez. That one bounced way out in front. Can't be an easy pitch to block.
Well, he's big. And he handles himself very well. Very quick behind the plate. Footwork is outstanding. Of course, good block is kind of turned his left side in to make sure the ball hit someplace in his chest protector.
Bounced foul past Ty Waller. So Sam Fuld putting a good battle on here with Chris Young, even though the foot cannot be feeling all that great. Infield and outfield just shifted toward right field a little bit. And now it's a full count.
Couple of pitches that Sam Fuld has done a good job. We do not know what he's going to do on 3 and 2 from Chris Young, but Sam Fuld sees the pitch down and recognizes the off-speed pitch and knows it's going to be out in the strike zone. He's done that a couple of times, which is a very good at bat.
Runner goes, swing and a miss. Perez's throw is wide at second base, so it's a strikeout and a stolen base. So Fuld will walk slowly back to the dugout. Well, the A's have a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Now batting third
Salvador Perez probably a little bit too quick as the ball through a cutter to shortstop with the second base, as Escobar had to reach back to prevent the ball from going to center field. Good jump by there's your cutter. At least the A's do have the runner in scoring position, and with Perez's ability to throw out base runners, good to see that the A's
in the hole. Escobar backhands, quick release, throws wide, and the A's are going to take the lead. Laurie's going to hustle the second. He'll stop there. A costly error by Escobar, and the A's lead 2-1.
But how many times have we seen when a man hustles out of the batter's box, it forces the infielders to maybe hurry themselves just a little bit. We see it with Billy Burns, but we all know that Brett Laurie is going to hustle down the line, and
Escobar quickly backhand and throwing, and even the Gold Glove at first could not handle it. And Brett Lawrie busting out of the batter's box. He's forcing this play, and Escobar had to hurry. He threw the same cutter that Perez did, and it is an error all the way, but the A's do score the run thanks to the stolen base by Eric Sogard. That is great hustle by Brett Lawrie. Bad throw by the shortstop, and the A's get the run. And they will take it unearned as it is.
Straight air all the way for the Royals. Their 38th error on the season. They are one of the better defensive teams in the American League, but an error there, and it cost them a run.
It's strange to see back-to-back throws by catcher and shortstop cutting the ball as badly as they did.
And now 2-0 to Stephen Vogt.
Sogard trying to maybe disrupt the concentration, but he was got to be going, and once he saw the ball get past Hosmer, he could score easily, and Brett Lawrie hustles into scoring position himself.
So Vogt in a good spot. 2-0 the count. Some trash rolling right in front of home plate. And of course it's about the same color as baseball.
And those white shoes.
Those white shoes. Come from what country they come?
Australia, albino kangaroos.
That's right. I gotta remember.
Amazing that Charlie would say, "We're going to have white shoes," and this is what you're going to say. And Monty remembers that as if it happened yesterday.
Well, that's a story that would be hard to forget.
That's true. That's a good one. Yeah, you don't have to write that one down.
Yeah. Foul back and a high fastball. So 2-2 the count. Stephen Vogt with 2 outs and runners in scoring position. 393 overall with runners in scoring position. 415.
Field and Culbreth called the 2-0 fastball high in the strike zone, a strike, and Stephen Vogt got the same pitch, fouled it off. We've seen that several times already.
Fastball again. This one's popped up. Escobar going out, and the shortstop has it side retired. So an unearned run for the A's. They'll take it, and we're through 5 at the Coliseum. It's the A's 2 and the Royals 1.
Profits to make a difference in the community through the A-IT Forward program. This morning, A's and Oakland Middle School students from One Desk Foundation participated in a cleanup day with the Lake Merritt Weed Warriors and will be on a pregame on June 29th for their commitment to service. For more photos and stories on the PG&E sponsored program, check out hashtag A-IT Forward. That's A-I-T Forward on social media, or visit us online at athletics.com/itforward.
Top of the 6th inning. Scott Kazmir now has a lead. First pitch, Moustakas toward third. Laurie has it, 1 out.
Well, it's a very similar game that game in Kansas City that Scott Kazmir pitched. He had a 2-1 lead, and of course pitching as well. I thought the note you guys put up about Scott Kazmir pitching here at his home park, his ERA very low, and he's given up 1 run, probably justified 1 run. Chris Young, an unearned run, as he continues to pitch well.
So here's Lorenzo Cain, who has hit a fly ball to left field, and he has struck out. So Cain is 0 for 2. 1 for 6 now in the series. Home and road splits for Scott Kazmir. Much better at home. Fouled back to the screen, and the count is 0-2 to Lorenzo Cain. Rangers beat the Blue Jays today 4-0 in Toronto. Gallardo pitched extremely well. He's starting to pitch pretty good for the Texas Rangers. Got his 7th win of the year. Cain lines one foul. Moreland, Odor, and Chirinos homered. Nice play by that young man. So we've seen a good play down the left field line and a good play down the right field.
All those relievers very happy that they were kind of ducking, but young man, nice job cutting in front of them.
Doing his thing.
And makes a fan happy. Gives him the baseball. He's got his security next to him. He's feeling good. Got Oakland's finest.
Yeah,
it's not Dominic.
It's a good spot to be. So 3 home runs in that game for the Rangers, and Rangers snapped their 6-game losing streak, so they get over 500. They're now 38-37 with that win in Toronto earlier today. 2-pitch is a little bit low. Yankees leading the Astros 6-2 in the third. Police officer right there. Breaking ball, good take by Cain, 3-2. Yankees got a grand slam from Brian McCann in the first inning down in Houston to help their 6-2 lead in the fourth. Low, and it's ball 4. So 1-out walk to a speedy base runner.
Well, it started 0-2 for Cain, and could not throw a strike after that. At least one that he could put in play.
With 35, Eric Hosmer.
So Hosmer will hit. And Chris Young hit another home run for the Yankees in Houston today, his 10th of the year. Had a game winner last night. He should sign with the Astros. You're right. First pitch outside to Hosmer. Kazmir at 76 pitches. A couple games rained out today. The White Sox and the Tigers in Detroit postponed, and the Indians and the Orioles in Baltimore postponed.
First one not a problem. That's Central Division. They play each other a lot of games, 3 series in each city, but one in Baltimore, that's just a one-time trip.
And all right, it shows up on the reschedule because the White Sox and Tigers will play in September, a doubleheader.
A check swing by Hosmer that was not called, and a slight delay in the check by Fegley, maybe just enough for the third base umpire Paul Schreiber to say no.
So 3-1 with Kendrys Morales in the on-deck circle. Cain dancing around a little bit at first, and Hosmer rips one to right. Reddick coming in. He'll play it on a hop. So 2 on, 1 out here in the 6th. Royals trying to answer back.
Well, falling behind is always a positive for a hitter, and Hosmer got the high changeup and At least for Kane, he had to be concerned about Reddick making the play, so he could not hustle to third. So at least it's a first and second, a possibility of a double play, get Morales to hit the ball on the ground.
Morales, a ground out and a single. Two for 5 in the series. Home run last night. And the runners go. And Fegley's going to throw through to second base, and Hosmer's safe. Kane safe at third. So the double steal works for the Royals.
Well, that's too bad, because such a high leg kick, and it's almost like it was an afterthought. Because Scott Kazmir had the high leg kick. Kane was going to steal third easy. Look at this. And Fegley did the right thing throwing to second, because sometimes the traded runner does not know if the lead runner's running. Pre-planned play, and Hosmer, though, hustling pretty good speed himself. And boy, that takes a double play away. I'd just like to say many times, the hitter took the pitch. Morales did. He's played the infield back.
Inside to Morales. 1-1 to count. And if you're an RBI guy and they want to double steal for you, let them do it.
Absolutely.
Especially on the first pitch. So 1-1 to Kendrys Morales. 46 RBIs on the year for Morales. He's 9th in the American League in that category. And he loops one into right. That's a hit. Kane scores. They're going to wave home Hosmer. Here comes Reddick's throw. It's way high. Kazmir backing it up. He'll throw to second. It's way late. And the Royals have taken a 3-2 lead.
It's amazing. It's incredibly amazing how the same thing happened in Kansas City. A walk, and then Morales comes up with a 2-run, actually double there. 2-run single here. That was in the 8th. This is the 6th, and at least the A's have some time. But the 1-out walk, the base hit, double steal. Now Morales coming through, no ball on the ground to try to keep at least just 1 run to score. And then the high throw allowing Morales, who does not run well himself, to be able to get into second base easily.
And they're starting to move around a little bit in the A's bullpen. So Chris Young now with a lead in the top of the 6th.
And looming large in the bullpen, as Chris Young knows. One more inning.
I didn't want to think about that.
I know, but see, Chris Young is.
Yes, he is.
He's thinking about that. He's thinking one more inning.
So is Ned Yo, so is Bob Melvin.
That's right. Everybody is. And that's why this 1-run deficit is important, to get 2 more outs and keep it at 1.
Well, Herrera and Holland both pitched last night, although Holland just threw a couple of pitches. Gordon takes a first pitch strike.
You have to keep it a 1-run game, and that's a huge difference, especially in your home park. So many things you can do in your own at bat.
Holland on the right threw 7 pitches last night. Herrera threw 12. So Wade Davis did not pitch. Wade Davis may be the best one of them all. Statistically, he's the best one of them. Gordon. Nice play. Sogard throws to first. A short hop. Going into a slide to make the play. 2 outs.
Great range by Eric Sogard, and Monty Moore knows the ability of Dick Green to make a similar play, and Eric Sogard doing it here, and that saves an extra run. Great play, especially going to the slide. The ball came up, and so did his glove, and made an outstanding play to prevent Gordon driving in a run.
So Morales now at third for Salvador Perez. Perez a strikeout and a fly ball to right field. And the first pitch in first strike. Perez 1 for 6 in the series. and miss. Fastball up and away.
Well, he swung at this pitch. His last at bat struck out. The first at bat, that is. A changeup more away, but he is aggressive. You see the open stance. He's thinking of pitches inside.
More action for Sogard. Picks it up, throws in time. Nice play by Eric Sogard. Couple nice plays to limit the damage, but a couple of runs for the Royals, so they now lead it 3-2.
Scoring in this game. It all started here with Sam Full, the leadoff double, and a hustle to steal third. The throw got away from Mustakas. He would score that run, and this an uncalled balk. I mean, this is a horrible call by Field and Culbreth. He took his foot off the rubber, and there was called a balk. Moved Infante to third. This sacrifice fly would tie the game at a run apiece. The A's with a hustle. Brett Laurie forcing an error by Escobar. And Sogard, who had single, stole second, scores 2-1, but that quickly coming back. The aim of the Royals last night, Kendrys Morales, opposite field home run, hit it from the left side. Today, opposite field base hit, scoring 2. That's where it stands, 3-2. Kansas City over the Athletics. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PICK-ATT, mobilizing your work.
So Zobrist to lead it off here in the bottom of the 6th inning. He'll be followed by Reddick and Fegley. And there is action now in the Royals bullpen. Ryan Matson, one of the new relievers for the Royals this year. Zobrist bounces one over the bag at second, but Escobar is there. Sidearms it to first, 1 out. So Zobrist 0 for 2 with a walk, and that'll bring up Reddick.
Now batting right fielder.
Chris Young trying to bounce back from a tough start in his last start. He faced the Red Sox and gave up 7 earned runs in 4 2/3 innings. But he has bounced back nicely. In fact, his own error hurt him in the first inning. And Escobar's error cost him a run in the 5th. Pitch number 93 coming up, and that one on the outside corner for a strike. 86 miles an hour. Little cue shot. Ball had some movement on it. Mustakas takes care of it. Throws out Reddick. 2 outs.
Well, it's coming up once again. The 16th annual A's Root Beer Float Day is set for Wednesday, July the 22nd. A's players, coaches, local celebrities, and more serve fans root beer floats for $3 each. Proceeds benefit JDRF, adding to the more than $400,000 the event has raised throughout the year. Sugar-free floats will be available. Special thanks to Dreyer's Ice Cream and Zevia. The zero-calorie soda product donations. Admission is free with a game ticket. It's a popular event.
So Fegley steps in for his third at bat. He's got a fly ball to right field and a pop out to short. This one in the air to left, playable for Gordon, who's back and over. He's got it. That's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Chris Young. So we're on to the 7th, 3-2 Royals. KCA Sportsnet is tonight against the LA Galaxy. It'll be at Stanford Stadium. Coverage begins at 7:30. The home of Earthquake Soccer is Comcast Sportsnet. So beautiful Stanford Stadium, nice venue. We'll look at Camelback Mountain, not Camelback Mountain, Mount Diablo. Thinking Arizona. Thinking spring training. Thinking about not climbing Camelback Mountain.
Well, I was just trying to think. It's about 115 at Camelback Mountain right now. Not quite that here.
Not going to happen. 28,619 is the attendance today, so a very nice crowd. And a tight ball game. 3-2 Royals lead as Alex Rios swings at the first pitch and fouls it right side. Yankees still leading the Astros 6-2 in the 4th inning. It's game 3 of a 4-game series. Tanaka and Overholzer are the 2 starting pitchers in that one. 0-2 to Rios, who has struck out and popped out, and he takes a close pitch on a fastball, a little outside. A's bullpen is quiet. 91 pitches for Kazmir. Up the middle, and Sogard cannot quite get that one. He's gotten most everything today. So leadoff single.
Well, another 2-strike hit, and well, you think after last inning, 1 pitch and Moustakas grounded out, and then all the things happened after that with the Royals scoring 2, and now with 2 strikes, the leadoff hit to Rios on a fastball down and away. He just went with it up the middle.
So here's Infante, who generally handles the bat pretty well. Laurie is 1 step onto the grass, so the A's have to be ready for just about anything at this point. Rios has 3 steals. Not a huge threat. There was a time when he was a big stolen base threat. Infante is a hot hitter. He doubled and scored today. He also struck out. 2 for 6 in the series. He's got 17 hits in his last 44 at bats. So 1-1 the count to the veteran second baseman of the Royals. Now we're going to start getting some action in that A's bullpen. Infante trying to go to right field. So Pomeranz and Scribner start to throw.
That guy number 21 to your right. He's the DH today. Stephen Vogt along with Casey Chavez warming up the pitchers, and Scott Emerson able to stand behind.
So Kazmir ahead in the count with Escobar, the leadoff man, waiting in the on-deck circle. Infante reaches for it, pops it up near the mound. Davis comes in. He's got it. A good pitch there by Kazmir, but you could see Infante way out on his front foot. Lost all power.
Well, Perez did his first at bat. Infante did it his last at bat on the changeup away, and this time, as you mentioned, going out there, and that's what Kazmir has been able to do this afternoon, is pitch to the outer part of the plate. And whether it's a changeup away as that one was with the hitter out on the front foot, or a fastball that they flail at.
Good breaking ball in for a strike. So first pitch breaking ball. Don't see a lot of that from Scott Kazmir, but a great pitch to steal a strike. Outside. Run in the third for the Royals and 2 in the 6th when they grab the lead. A little lean, but not going. Broken bat, slowly hits. Simeon has to grab the baseball while avoiding the bat, and he's able to get the out at second base. Not quite able to get Escobar at first. That's hard to do, what Simeon just did, because the bat was going toward him, but he's not really watching the bat end.
Yeah, Escobar almost got caught because he was not running to first base. There's no way that Escobar should have been a close play at first base, but he had to hurry right at the last instant to avoid being doubled up. And you're right, the bat coming at him, he got the lead runner, which is important there, and Sogard almost turning the double play. And that's with the speed of a runner who at first base might be thinking about stealing.
And Escobar is probably thinking about stealing. Strike to Moustakas. Escobar is 5 for 7 in steal attempts this year.
He's still feeling the effect of the hard slide by Brett Lohr in April.
I'm not going there.
I know he can run, and that's just the surprising thing. And
Davis, fair ball, steps on the backside, retired. Moustakas can't believe it. So 7th inning stretch coming up from the Coliseum, and the Royals leading 3-2. the bottom of the 7th. So 3 more shots for the A's. So they have time. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So it is on to the Royals bullpen. It's Ryan Madson trying to make a comeback, and he's done a good job. 1-1, a 1.82 ERA in 29 appearances. He was signed as a minor league free agent in January. Said, hey, see if I can make the team, and he did.
One appearance against the A's. That was on the game in which Scott Kazmir started the final game of the 3-game series. Pitched an inning, gave up a hit. Fastball mid-90s still, and 2-4 seam with a cut fastball and a changeup.
So he'll face Ike Davis. Madson, big fella, 6'6", 230 pounds. Remember, he was really one of the better relief pitchers in the National League with the Phillies not that long ago. But then arm injuries. He left the Phillies after the 2011 season. So he's been a nice addition. Take a chance on a guy. You hope he's healthy, works out, and that has been the case with Madson.
Sometimes guys returning from surgeries, especially on their arms and shoulders, it may take more than a year, maybe 2 years. And in the case of Madson, continue. And there is absolutely no reason for a pitcher or anybody to retire when they think they have a little bit left, especially a pitcher in an era in which there's 30 teams and everybody always looking for pitching.
And Madson, 34 years old, so he's still got some years left. 2-2 now to Davis. Simeon to follow, and then Sogard. High fastball, and Davis had a good swing, and he fouled it to the backstop. Davis a double and a fly ball to center field so far. He's 5 for 22 since returning from the disabled list. It's good to have him back in the lineup.
He's hard on himself last night after the ball that couldn't get out of his glove. Good first baseman, and right now the 3-2 count, trying to get on board in this 7th inning.
3-2 pitch is hooked foul down the right field line.
And there's your change right there. You have a 95-mile-an-hour fastball possibility and throws a changer. I mean, as long as you throw it close, which that one was, close enough to possibly be a strike on the inner part of the plate. And fortunately, Davis was able to get some wood on it to foul it.
Just got a piece of that one. Tipped off the glove of Salvador Perez. So Perez is going to go out and talk to his pitcher to give himself a little break.
You know, that might have hit off the end of the tip of his fingers. Even with the catcher's mitt, sometimes when your fingers are stuck in the catcher's mitt and the ball is off, and it looked like it's off the glove hand. Let's see again. Check the glove hand of Perez. Something happened towards the end of his fingers as he went down to try to backhand the ball. Again, it's the glove hand. And I saw Stephen Vogt take one when he turned his hand. So maybe the thumb that was down.
Well, that hand must take a beating, huh?
Yeah, it does.
Think about how many pitches are caught in each game.
Well, ideally, you want to catch with not a lot of padding because you don't want to drop balls and you want to get the pretty good feel in the pocket.
And the 3-2 pitch is up and away, and Ike Davis has a leadoff walk. All right, here's our T-Mobile game changer. It has to do with that Royals bullpen. Herrera, Davis, and Holland. Now, 9 times this year, They have pitched the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning, 2 earned runs in 25 innings. Herrera the 7th, Davis the 8th, Holland the 9th. That's best case scenario for Ned Yost. But again, Herrera pitched last night, so did Holland. Herrera. Wade Davis has not, and Wade Davis has closed some games this year when Holland was on the disabled. So 0-1 to Marcus Semien. Semien a line out and a strikeout so far. Chris Young went 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. Walked in 4 strikeouts. 1 earned run, 2 runs scored. Madsen has it, throws a sinker to second. Escobar has it on the first double play. So Madsen grabbed it, and Escobar played a pretty nice play at second base. So 1-6-3, and now there are 2 outs.
Well, that fielding of position, but it looked like the ball was going right to Infante regardless. But Madsen handling it, and even better at second base was Escobar, and Semien good speed, still able to turn an easy double play.
2 away for Sogard. First pitch is a strike down around the knees, 0-1. And a quick 0-2. So off speed pitch from Madsen. Sogard a strikeout and a single and a run scored in the 5th. He stole the bag. And that was a big part of him scoring in that inning. More action for Escobar. Quick throw. Hosmer digs it outside. Retired. So leadoff walk, but the A's do nothing with it. Top of the 8th coming up. It's the Royals 3 and the A's 2. So 3-2, the Royals leading the A's on a day that we've spent some time looking back at 1965 when the Athletics were in Kansas City. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change tune-up and repair expert. So big lefty Drew Pomeranz comes in. Been pitching well out of the bullpen. And he faces Kane, Hosmer, and Morales here in the 8th. First pitch, fastball hit high and just to our right. So Scott Kazmir, 3 runs, 3 earned runs in 7 innings. Six strikeouts thanks to those ladies. They know exactly how many strikeouts Kazmir had. That's a fair ball past a diving Laurie and headed for the left field corner. So Lorenzo Cain is going to have a double. So that's how the top of the 8th starts, and the A's really cannot let this deficit get any larger. Keep it at 1.
A slow curveball just hooked down the line. A good pitch to do exactly what Cain did. Over the bag, fair all the way.
Now batting, number 35.
So now Drew Pomeranz going to have to, first of all, worry about him stealing third, because that's what he did after walking 2 innings ago.
So in steps Hosmer, who is 2 for 3. Big left-handed hitter. And the first pitch is hit toward left on a line, but Zobrist is there, and that's out number 1. So Hosmer cannot get a run over or get a run in as he lines out to left. So with 1 out, Morales will hit.
I want to congratulate the people. There's a lot of people in the
25.
A's video board section that has had the great music today. So go back to the 65. Just wonder though, as we approach the bottom of the 8th inning, Too Legit to Quit was not around in 1965, so we should not hear that in the bottom of the 8th inning. Right?
Bernie Lean was not around.
That's
I
right.
don't believe Bernie was around.
Should not be hearing
65.
any of that today. That's why it's been a very nice day. So we'll see what they come out with in the bottom of the 8th inning.
You're right on target there, Ray.
But the music has been very good.
It's been delightful.
Yeah. Understand,
delightfully pleasant.
Understand the words, and
not too loud, not too soft.
Yeah. And a big comeback would be even better for the A's today, as they had a pretty good team in the Royals, as the A's have seen, and Kane getting off even farther at second.
And he will go.
Yes, he will.
He's 14 for 17 in steal attempts, and the Royals they're aggressive on the bases, and they're good on the bases, and they are not afraid. They had a double steal in the 6th inning, and that helped them get a run.
Josh Phegley behind the plate, and his strong arm just give him a chance, and unfortunately did not get the chance. He threw to second with Hosmer. I think it's difficult sometimes in today's baseball where you have runners who have the green light, which means they can go whenever they feel they can get a jump. In the case of first and second, Kane's going to have the green light. He took off to third, but the trailing runner has to also be alert. Hosmer was, and A's could not get the big out.
Big swing by Morales. So 1-2 the count. Pomeranz ahead. There's Wade Davis. Seems like we're going to see Scribner as well.
Have some of those stretchy things that can attach up here to the back of the booth.
It hurts you when he does that. So 1-2 with Kane and his speed at second base. In the dirt, Phegley picks it up and then takes a look down at Kane. The Astros have come storming back. They have actually tied that game in Houston It's now Yankees 6, Astros 6. Carter has homered. Correa has homered. Altuve has homered. That one just missed. So now a full count. The Astros had 37,000 last night for game 1 of their series against the Yankees. Or make that was game 2. I'm sure another big crowd today. Just missed, and Morales walks.
Well, first base open, and Alex Gordon might have been a reason for that 3-2 breaking ball. Yes, Kurt Young is going to visit, but Gordon got a fastball last time from Jesse Hahn. And after Morales, who hit the ball down the left field line, hit it from the left side, this time a fastball. Belt high, tailing a little bit away from Gordon, but so many similarities to the great Hall of Famer George Brett, the swing of Alex Gordon. Matter of fact, many comparisons when Gordon first joined the Royals. He was playing at third base. Of course, he's wearing number 4. The Hall of Famer's number 5 is retired. He'll never wear that one, but left-handed hitter. He's playing third, which was George Brett's familiar position, but Gordon moved the outfield, and in all honesty, maybe too much.
Probably.
Comparison, and the pressure to equal that of the Hall of Famer, which I don't think many could. I mean, after all, you have a statue out in front of Kauffman Stadium.
Yeah.
That
so
adds to it a little.
What you're saying is, if you're a first-round draft pick for the Royals and you play third base and you bat left-handed,
yeah. And
there's going to be some pressure.
You go to the outfield.
That's right. Go play left. You got 4 gold gloves as an outfielder. First pitch, a fastball outside corner for a strike.
And especially if you ask for number 5 and it's retired.
Yeah.
And then you know you're in trouble. Gordon has been a good player, and either the Royals or somebody's going to pick up a very good player following the 2015 season.
We'll call it like a partial pickoff.
Yeah.
Although I think Simeon and Pomeranz want to make sure they were both on the same page.
George Brett, third baseman, of course, a great third baseman that can do a lot of things defensively. And of course, one of the best hitters in the game. Late Charlie Lau taught him his swing, and that's kind of released the top hand. And George was perfect in the swing.
And now 0-2, and see Gordon kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah. Call it the old whirly bird helicopter. Rolled up the top. Frank Thomas, a lot of that. Charlie Lau was a catcher, but an excellent hitting coach, and unfortunately passed away.
0-2. Fastball just a bit inside, but a good pitch. The resume for George Brett: MVP in 1980, world champion in 1985.
And always being known for that pine tar on his bat.
Yeah.
Big home run off Goose Gossage. Greg Nettles had Tim McClellan measure the bat. Disallowed the home run. And I never thought pine tar on the bat could help a ball travel as far as
I don't think it's
George Brett could hit them.
May help you hold on to it a little bit.
That's it. And then the way the bats are flying to the stands, and always concerned about the people in the stands with the flying bats. You want as much pine tar as possible on the bat.
Another 1-2 to Gordon. And another foul ball.
Cap, you pointed out last night how far Gordon is off the plate.
Big time.
But his first move is diving to the outside, and that's why he was able to handle the Jesse Hahn fastball last night and pull it to right center. And he was going out so far that when the pitch missed inside, he almost got hit, but he's kind of diving to the outside. That's considerably off the plate. But watch the front foot. His first move is going to be almost towards the shortstop.
And George Brett did that as well. Yeah. He was quite a ways off the plate.
He was really closed up. And I mean, he can hook the balls down the right field corner as well as anybody. See, it's a slightly open stance, but the first move is closed and again towards shortstop left field area. That's why he can go out and reach pitches outside and drive them to right field.
And Gordon swings and misses at a 94-mile-an-hour fastball.
A big strikeout because he's a good hitter. Tied him up just a little bit, and that's a great location. Watch the hand, tried to pull in, but no contact, and a big strikeout for Drew Pomeranz.
So Bob Melvin's coming out, and he wants Evan Scribner. We'll be back.
Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California is brought to you by Toyota, the full-line automaker with the longest-lasting vehicles in America. Toyota, let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
So another tight ball game. Royals 3, A's 2. And the A's are going to bring in Evan Scribner to face Salvador Perez. So Scribner trying to strand these two runners. So this would be where that inherited runners and how many have scored comes into play on the stat sheet for a relief pitcher.
That's right.
And Evan Scribner wants to walk off the diamond with two inherited runners stranded.
That's right.
First pitch fouled straight back. Perez swung at a pitch a little off the plate. See, now that's not good. That means he's inherited 15 runners when he comes into a game, and he's only stranded 6. So,
and he hopes, that guy hopes they're stranded.
Yes,
it's Pomeranz, because those are his runs, and that is an important statistic for a relief pitcher. A very important, because if a hit is given up, they're not his runs. It's a guy that you're replacing, but he's staying away from Perez, which is a good idea. A good cutter, maybe a changeup away that time off speed. Perez, like Infante, like several of the Royals hitters, have been looking outside. So Faber really can move off even farther with the 2 strike count. Maybe get him to chase one even farther out of the strike zone.
Well, that one got a little bit too much of the plate. Perez fouled it back.
I think this is where it goes to watching the hitter. The hitter kind of tells you, and you're right, that pitch was down the middle of the plate. Almost like to see a catcher move off to the point the umpire says, okay, that's far enough. Get back closer to the plate. But chase pitches are good pitches for pitchers, especially ahead of the count.
0-2 pitch is popped up toward Reddick and right. And Reddick grabs it. So Scribner strands 2 inherited runners. Bottom of the 8th coming up. All right, here's our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 3-8-2 for the Royals, 2-4-0 for the Athletics. Chris Young was good. Kendrys Morales, a couple more RBIs today. Scott Kazmir was good. Sam Fuld got things going in the very first inning. But right now, the A's are going to have to do it against the best bullpen in baseball, and that is the Kansas City Royals. No disrespect to Greg Holland. This guy probably has the best stuff of any of the relievers. When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up. Your oil change, tune-up, and repair experts. It's Wade Davis. He's a big fella, 6'5", 225 pounds.
No home runs allowed. I mean, his ERA, minuscule. He does have a loss. The team that beat him should be awarded this world championship.
Right now. Just give it to him.
But talk about high octane, this guy's got it. And Cap, I think about Dennis Eckersley, who does never threw as hard as Wade Davis, but similar in this sense that most starting pitchers become great relievers. And Davis, while he could close for a lot of clubs and did close when Holland was on the disabled list, he'll top out about 98 with a fastball, and he's got a cut fastball and a changeup, but everything is thrown hard except for the changeup. So the A's, 6 outs remaining to try to do something.
Sam Fuld, 1 for 3. There's a strike. Since August 24th of 2013, that's the last time he started a game. He has not allowed a home run. 113 innings. Last year, he threw 72 innings, struck out 109 batters in the league at 151 against him.
You think the trade to Tampa Bay to get Shields and Davis was not a good one?
And I wouldn't say Davis was a throw-in. That's not really the case. I mean, Royals wanted another arm in the deal, but he was a starter with the Rays and a decent starter. But now he's a dominant bullpen guy.
So the A's, their work cut out, but the A's are capable of maybe handling the best pitchers. Sam Fuld, a big start. The top of the batting order.
3-2 pitch, and it's a leadoff walk.
A good start for the Athletics with a leadoff walk in the 8th inning. New for this season, A's fans can go to all July home games for just $89. That starts next week. With the July ballpark pass for one low price, you can get access to all 13 A's home games in July, including 2 fireworks games and the Hello Kitty Bobblehead Night. That is quite a deal. This is a mobile-only offer with all passes accessed through your iPhone or Android phone. Get yours today at athletics.com/ballparkpass.
So full the board. Here's Laurie. First pitch is low.
Okay, James Shields is in the National League, but you watch the setup out of the stretch as Tyler Clippard gets loose for the Athletics. Holland for the Royals, but James Shields had the same setup out of the stretch, and Wade Davis doing the same thing.
Laurie bounces one foul to Ty Waller.
When James Shields was acquired by the Royals and Wade Davis came, both of them from Tampa Bay, the first thing James Shields says, don't forget about Wade Davis. Yeah. And nobody has forgotten about him. As a matter of fact, everybody knows about him.
That is the truth.
And with that 98, maybe Brett Laurie can go to right field. Man, they are playing him as a left-handed pull hitter. The entire left center field gap open. And of course, when you throw 96 to 98 miles per hour, right-handed hitter, don't expect him to pull the ball. But look at the gap in left center. Is Kane in center. Rios are right, playing him very much to the opposite field.
Full inches off, and the pitch to Laurie is low, 2-1. A's have 4 hits today. They had just 4 hits last night.
And in all the games in the month of June that the A's have played, 12 times have the A's been in double figures. So this is a game, you look at the non-home runs for this hard-thrown right-hand, it's called manufacturing a run. The A's will be trying to do that again as they trail by a run.
And Laurie hits one high, deep down the right field line. Rios into the corner, and it is foul.
Man, I thought it was going to be a home run. Wow.
So Laurie put a charge into it, but it hooked late and then bounced off the wall just a couple feet foul.
Well, the way it took off, the wind must have taken it or something, because it was slicing, and wow. Just to the right of the foul pole. And if it had been at the 330 at home run distance, it would have gone out. I was thinking of Josh Donaldson going out with the home run against the Tigers a couple years ago. Crushed one down the right field line. That Laurie almost did it here, although in the 8th inning.
Pitch to Laurie is inside. So another 3-2 count. Would you send Fold here?
Well, he throws a cutter hard. He throws a fastball hard. Perez did throw a cutter to second base on Sogart's stolen base. I'd say they're not going to send it, Peck.
Oh, he runs, and the ball's fouled at the plate and then bounces up and into the seats.
I like that. And maybe the A's know or think that Davis does not have a particularly good move and a quick release to the plate, because Fold got a very good jump. The key here is that the ball is hit on the ground if contact is made, and not a line drive at somebody for a double play. But it's a good way to stay out of two. May pay a little bit more attention to him now, since he did run on the first 3 and 2.
Fold runs again, and the pitch is way outside. He walked him.
Well, back-to-back overthrown fastballs by Wade Davis.
So now Vogt will hit.
Designated hitter, number 21,
Davis, coming into this appearance, he had 10 walks in 31 innings. So, I mean, he will walk people occasionally.
Purple haze.
Nice. All right, so Vogt, followed by Zobrist, followed by Reddick against a great reliever. A's down by a run here in the 8th. First pitch to Vogt is in the dirt, and Perez was able to get a glove on it and knock it down.
Well, that ball thrown so hard, and I must say, Perez, a great job, but you're almost hopeful as a catcher. Just hit me somewhere. Keep it close. And he comes up, the ball comes up with him, and you know, that is not your typical great block, but it worked out well for Perez and the Royals.
Pitch to Vogt is low, 2-0.
Ivana's got a visit with his right-hander, and but you have to, as a hitter, look at 15 pitches thrown. You know that he's not been around the plate, and as a hitter, you have to be patient, and you can zone in one pitch, one location, and if you get it, let it go. He did throw one curveball that Sam Fold took for a ball, but mostly mid to upper 90s fastball with the cutter, the changeup, 2 and 4 seam fastball. So you just, as a hitter, just try to zone in on a pitch in your zone.
Just one earned run allowed this year by Wade Davis. To a pitch to Vogt, misses badly outside, and now it's 3-0. First time we've ever seen Wade Davis struggle. Of course, he never struggles. He's walked 2 here. Going at the knees for a strike, 95 miles an hour. So 3-1 to Vogt, who has hit a fly ball to left, has grounded to second, has popped to short. 3-1 pitch is hit foul left side, and Stephen Vogt a little upset at himself. The pitch may have been low.
Yes, it was low. He knows it, and that's one that you're hoping you don't see, because that's helping the pitcher. He did throw the 3-0, a good fastball for a strike, but then went back out of the strike zone, and Stephen Vogt had committed, and now we're back to the same 3-2.
Runner's not going, and the pitch is strike 3 called on the outside corner.
And it was not the 98 either. Might have been a backdoor cut fastball. It was. And to the outside part of the plate at 93, not a good fastball, and Stephen Vogt knows that the pitch could not pull a trigger on that one.
So that's the first out, and here's Zobrist. Zobrist is 0 for 2. He walked in the 4th inning. Fold at second, Laurie at first. And Zobrist bounces it back to Davis. Fires to second for 1, and that's another play. So Wade Davis gets out of it after walking the first 2, and we're headed to the 9th. It's the Royals 3 and the A's 2.
With a salute to armed forces, fireworks night after the A's take on the Mariners. 6:05 p.m. contest here at the Coliseum. Fans can watch the post-game fireworks show from the outfield grass, but as always, on-field capacity is limited. Get your tickets today at athletics.com/fireworks. That is July the 3rd, Friday and Saturday, July 4th and 5th day games here at the Coliseum. And of course, that would be the end of a 10-game homestand. Those 4 against the Mariners, including the fireworks on the Friday night, July the 3rd.
So 9th inning, it's 3-2 Royals. Holland is now loosening up. The Royals closer, Evan Scribner, stays out there for the A's. He'll face Rios, Infante, and Escobar. So frustrating bottom of the 8th inning. He's had 2 on and nobody out. Could not score. Rios is 1 for 3 today. He singled in the 7th inning. Popped up. Fastball right there to hit. Simeon reaches up and he makes the catch. So 1 away here in the top of the 9th. With Holland getting loose, looking at the A's batting order, it'll be Reddick, Fegley, and Davis, the 3 scheduled hitters for the A's. Infante slices one foul. Ray, I do not want this to end with this score, because that's going to make the balk call really irritate me. And I think you probably feel the same way, because I don't think that was a good call, and it directly led to a run.
Yeah, exactly. And it was not a balk, and I'm sure if, and I say if, with the big if, the umpires, and especially the home plate umpire, they look at the DVD that is recorded on every ball game for pitches, strikes, etc., and they will look at especially a balk call, and Mr. Colbert will see, and maybe the other 3 umpires will see that they did not see what the home plate umpire did, and that is that Scott Kazmir stepped off with his back foot, which is not a ball.
Davis, Fegley. It's going to be Fegley who flips off the mask in foul territory. 2 outs. This was the call we're talking about. It happened in the 3rd inning. Runner at second, nobody out.
Back foot, steps off, and then he wants to talk to Fegley, and that's when he called the balk. That's not a balk. You can step off. That's what he's trying to explain to Phil and Colbert. And for the life of me, if 3 umpires at 1st, 2nd, and 3rd are looking at that and they don't see a balk, usually if a balk is called, several umpires throw up their hands. This is the home plate umpire, and he missed it completely.
So with 2 outs, here's Escobar. And if the balk's not called, Infante stays at second. The next 3 hitters went strikeout, fly out, strikeout. But in this case, the fly out was the sacrifice fly because the runner was at 3rd. So that's where the problem comes in. Sogard to first, and a good top of the 9th inning for Evan Scribner. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Here we go, folks. Holland coming in.
And let's hope there's another hotter player of the game after this 9th inning. But Kendrys Morales again. That was signed by the Kansas City Royals last night. Opposite field home run down the left field line, hitting left-handed off Jesse Hahn. Today going opposite field from the right side, and a 2-run single to right field. And without the balk, that tied the game. But with the balk, it put the Royals ahead 3-2. And that's where they stand right now with Greg Holland, the closer, on the mound.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Tune-Up, your oil change, tune-up, and repair expert. So Holland comes in 15 saves in 16 opportunities. He got the save last night. threw just 7 pitches, retired a couple of hitters, and got the save as he faces Reddick leading it off. First pitch in first strike, 93 miles an hour. Reddick is 0 for 3, reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Tap toward Escobar, gets a big hop, fires to first, and they just get Reddick. Escobar almost took too much time. He waited for that big hop.
Yeah, there's the high hop. A little bit of a casual setup and throw, and Reddick can run. And he started throwing a sinker going into the runner, but he knows he has a Gold Glove first baseman in Eric Hosmer. Makes it look easy at first as Hosmer.
So here's Fegley. Fegley is 0 for 3. He's hit 3 balls in the air. First pitch and first strike off speed. That's that pitch that Holland throws, kind of a changeup, split finger, and just kind of floats in there. Then he throw a fastball at 93, 94 miles an hour. Holland has allowed 1 home run in 19 innings this year. Holland spent some time on the disabled list, as Ray talked about last night. He saved the game against the A's in Kansas City, and the next day went on the disabled list. 1-1 pitch. Boy, you're going to miss, and there it is again, 85 miles an hour.
Right, he does have an assortment, and it's that off speed you have to get up for the good fastball, and this is what happens when he throws and goes off speed.
Perez sets up outside, 1-2 pitch, high fastball, swing and a miss, struck him out. So 2 outs here in the 9th. So you see the slider and the splitter, and you know what, that pitch that I'm talking about, Ray, it's the slider. Even though it breaks straight down, but some sliders do that.
Well, that's what Sonny Gray's doing now with his, and you're right.
So last hope is Ike Davis. He's got a double, a fly ball to center, and a walk. First pitch is a strike on the outside corner, well placed, 94 miles an hour. If Davis can get aboard, Simeon would hit. Interesting shift for Davis as he takes a strike. They kind of pinch the middle infield a little bit, but in the outfield they play him toward left center. You see the shortstop right behind second base.
There's that, maybe the curveball there, but whatever. Off speed and thrown for a strike.
It's a nasty pitch, isn't it?
It's, well, and just everything that he throws, that's what makes him so good.
So 0-2, Davis has to battle. Missed outside. So 4 hits last night, 4 hits today for the A's. One-two pitch is hit hard but foul right down the third base line. Alex Gordon is going to be the guy who goes to get it. So the count remains 1-2 to Davis. Perez wants it low. And Davis just got a piece of it. Little emergency swing, and it worked. That was that downer pitch, slider, whatever it may be.
Well, he sets up in a splitter grip with a splitter grip, and wish he could throw that. Perez very adept at blocking balls in the dirt. Fortunately, he got a piece of it.
So another 1-2 from Holland to Davis. And he got him swinging, and that's the ball game. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Holland, and he strikes out a pair, and he gets the save, and this will be a frustrating loss for the Athletics, as a balk call hurt them and a missed opportunity in the 8th inning. So when it's all said and done, the Royals win it 3-2 over the Athletics, and they have taken the first 2 games of this series. You've been watching A's Baseball on Comcast Sportsnet California. Don't go away. A's Postgame Live starts right now.